clap for her. She sacrifices a whole lot to support me in doing this thing that I do. And if you ever try to book a show, probably like 3/4 of the time, she's the one who's emailing you and sending out contracts and mailing out posters while I work my dumb job. She does graphic design, and she's really awesome at it, and has done some stuff for Cool Hand Luke, including this sounds like I'm meant for this to lead up to some sales pitch, but I did a live record a few months back. I recorded one, just me, and she played on a song, and there's a record of it coming out, including the long rambling between the songs. They're on separate tracks, so you can skip past it if you don't. But it was supposed to be ready for this tour, but is not ready for this tour. But if you want it, you can basically mail order it, like pay for it now, we'll give you a receipt, we'll get your information, we'll mail it out to you in a few weeks. Anyway, she did the cover for that, and it rules, and it's scary, just like I wanted it to be. Because obviously I play the scariest music ever. And I'm intimidating. I'm thinking about getting a distortion pedal for my piano. Anyway, she does graphic design, and she's awesome at it, and she has this really good job because she's awesome at it. She's so awesome at it that her boss lets her work from home and go on the road with me, but sometimes her obligations to me take too long, and so tonight she's having to work instead of play with me. So she's literally doing her job, sitting there and still supporting me and selling you something if you want it. But normally she would throw down on the glockenspiel, and I mean really tear it up. Like you don't even see her mallet, she's just like last night, like it gets more ridiculous every night on this tour, because last night I said something like she's ranked 3rd in the nation. I'm not even a ranking for glockenspiel players, but in the middle of the first verse, both of us, we talked about it later, like almost lost it just because we thought about how ridiculous that was. And I mean, I'm a goofy guy, but I write really serious songs, you know? It's funny how that works out, but you know, I'm like, come on, bring it. Come on, this is gonna slay people. And I'm just like, but so somehow this always ends up being the longest part of my rambling, because like there are a lot of stories that are attached to this particular song, and any one that I pick, I just end up giving way too many details on. But I need bullet points. Like I just need a PowerPoint presentation and someone else controlling the slides so that they just move the slides, and I can't even, I'm like, oh, we're already onto that slide, I've got to tell you about this. So as I'm stalling, I'm trying to figure out which version of what this song is about should I tell you. But I'll just, and some of you heard it last night, so I'm sorry, and some of you heard it last year, and I'm just hoping you don't remember it. Okay, basically, here's the bullet points. I had to write this song for a sampler, and I thought that I would have a band writing the song and recording it with me, but I didn't. It was just me, and so I stalled until I still didn't have a song, and the packaging was going to be printed, and they needed to know the name of the song, and I said, I'll tell you tomorrow, because I completely didn't have a song, but didn't want to tell them that. And I guess I thought maybe I was going to write one overnight, but I was out of town and not even near an instrument, so that didn't happen. But I did have a dream a weird dream that I was in heaven, except it was really a scene from Lord of the Rings. And one of the scenes that is about farthest from heaven, like the scene where Gandalf fights the fire monster and dies. Fights the Balrog. And there were smiles all around me, like the smiles from the old Twizzlers commercials. Remember those? They were just like that, and they were floating all around me. And so I told the label, the song is called A Floating Smile. And so then I had to write a song called A Floating Smile, and I was completely crippled by the fact that I no longer had an incredible band to hide behind. And I tinkered around on piano, but I didn't feel confident at all. I still don't really feel confident playing piano. Like, I would much rather have a band that I can hide behind so that I can just work on one part real good, and then when the band quits playing, I'm just like, But when you're writing a song by yourself, you don't have the luxury of doing that. So I wrote this song, and it was called A Floating Smile, and it is more or less, all of my songs are inspired by my faith in Christ. Some of them are like, here's this thing that happened to me. Some of them are like, here's this thing that God did or God is doing, or here's some promises of God. But this song was seriously like to God, like, God, here's what a mess I am, and here's where I am, and here's why I know that you need me. And at the time that I wrote it, I was stressed out and feeling incredibly insecure and confused about life in general, and I was just in this existential funk and didn't know what I was supposed to be doing, because I thought my identity was being in a band, and then that kind of got swept out from under me, and I realized that my identity couldn't be in that anymore. And so I lean on Jesus in those times when I'm thinking clearly, and the imagery that I hope in, which isn't necessarily even biblical, but it's just a comforting thought to me, is if I can just hold on, if I can just abide in Him, if I can just keep seeking Him first, He's gonna come back, and we're just gonna fly away. He's just gonna pick me up off the ground, and we're gonna fly away from all the pain and the suffering and the confusing decisions and the people who don't treat me right, and everything will be made right. And the reason that that image first came into my head was when I was in 5th grade. I was obsessed with Batman, and I was ugly, and like I've grown into my face, but like my teeth were just huge, and I had really horrible hair, and like I would see the cool kid wearing a shirt, and I'm like, okay, I gotta keep tabs on that shirt, if I can get that kind of shirt. But I wouldn't understand that getting that shirt in extra large still isn't cool. The shirt had to fit me, like I go through like my closet in my parents' house in my old bedroom, and I'm pulling out shirts from like junior high. They're literally extra large. Like I've ever been able to fit into an extra large t-shirt. So I had a Batman shirt for every day of the week, and I'm not lying. And I had a sweatshirt